Okay, we are going to correct our common assessment. So here we go. Which statement about the graph below is correct? I see that it's asking me a lot about the slope. So I'm going to circle those words. And it's asking me about proportional or non-proportional. So I can look at this line right away and tell that it is non-proportional because it does not go through the origin. If it had gone through the origin, it would have been proportional, but it is not proportional. So A and B are out. So it's either C or D because it is non-proportional. So now I've got to determine what the slope is of the line. To determine slope, I need two clean points. So I see a clean point right there on the line and right there. So I'm going to create a stair step between those 2 points. And I see that I am rising 1 unit and running 3. My rise over my run equals 1 over 3. That is answer choice D. Okay, number 2. The number of gift baskets that Nikki can make varies directly with the amount of time that she spends making the baskets. So baskets varies directly with time. She can make 4 baskets in half an hour. How many baskets can she make in 5 hours? You could put this into InSolve if you wanted to, or you can cross multiply. You would do 20 divided by 0.5, and that is going to go 8 times. Is that right? No, that's not right. Oh, I'm done. Miss Colvin forgot how to divide for a second. Whew. 5 goes into 24 times. Wow. So my answer is 40. So sorry. Okay. Another way to look at it, when I saw it, I said, well, 4 baskets in half an hour in 30 minutes. Well, if I double 30 minutes to an hour, that would be 8 baskets in an hour. And so then I just said 8 times 5 is 40. That's the way I did it in my head. So I guess maybe I gotta check something. Okay. That's why I couldn't do the long division. Alright, number 3. A water hose discharges water at a rate of 45 gallons per minute. 45 gallons per minute. So which graph has a slope that best represents this rate? So I'm going to go to the, thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay. Nice. Like it. Alright, I'm going to go to the 1 minute because it says 45 gallons in 1 minute. Minutes are down here along the bottom. So I'm going to go to the 1 minute. And I see that if I go up to the line, I cross right there at the 45. So that is 45 gallons in 1 minute. This is the one, but let's just see why it wouldn't be this one. We have not used any flat, no slope lines. Look, 45 gallons in 1 minute, but also 45 gallons in 2, 45 gallons in 3. Basically, this one isn't discharging. It's the same all the way across. So here If I go to 1 minute and then up to the line, it's crossing right there at the 15. That's not 45 gallons per minute. And here, if I go to the 1 and then where it's crossing there at the 60, that's 60 gallons per minute. This is the one that matches. Okay? Number 4. Which table shows a proportional relationship? If we're talking about proportional, you can stay inside the table. In other words, y divided by x has to remain constant. So I can do 4 divided by 1 equals 4, 6 divided by 2 equals 3. It's not constant, right? Let's do B. 1.5 divided by 1, well, that equals 1.5. 3 divided by 2, that equals 1.5. 4.5 divided by 3, hey, that equals 1.5. 6 divided by 4, that equals 1.5. So because it has a constant of variation, y divided by x always remains constant. The answer is B. This is the one that is proportional. But let's just double check ourselves. 3 divided by 1 equals 3, and 5 divided by 2 equals 2.5. It doesn't remain constant, so it is not proportional. Again, if you're talking about proportional relationships, you can stay inside the table. Non-proportional relationships, you have to do the peaks and determine the rate of change outside the table. Okay? All right. Number 5. It says triangle DEF and triangle GHI are similar right triangles. Which statement is true concerning the slope of this line here below? Now this line is the third side contained in both triangles, but if you'll notice, even though it's contained in 2 different triangles, it is still the same line. So this line is going to maintain a constant slope. The slope here is equal to the slope here because it's the same line. It has nothing to do with the size of the triangles. So, answer choice A says it is equivalent to the simplified ratio of the horizontal to the vertical. The way this is written, it would be horizontal over vertical. This is not slope. Okay? Slope equals the vertical over the horizontal. Okay? So this one is not true. It's equivalent to 3 over 2, so I'm going to have to figure out the rise and the run here. First of all, when I look at this line and follow it from left to right, I notice that it's going down. The slope is negative. So it can't be either of these actually, because the slope has to be negative. But if I'm going to count the rise over the run, I would go down 2 and over 3. Rise over run equals negative 2 over 3. So it has to be this one, but let's take a look at it. The slope is equivalent to the simplified ratio of the vertical side length to the horizontal. That means they want you to put the first word on top. Vertical over horizontal. And that is equal to the rise over the run. That is slope. Okay? All right, number 6. X varies directly with Y. When you see this language, they want you to put the first letter over the second letter. So when you set up this proportion, you're going to set it up X to Y. So it says X equals 12 when Y equals 3. The X goes on top, the Y goes on bottom. It says what is X, that's my unknown, when Y equals 8. So this is the proportion you set up. You could put this whole thing into InSolve if you wanted, or we can go old school and do our cross multiplication. Some of you call it butterfly. 12 times 8 is, what, 96? And then you divide by the 3. Let's see if Miss Colvin remembers how to divide now. Hey, 32. Okay. Keeping on. Number 7. On a field trip, there are 3 adults for every 45 students, so which graph models a relationship with the same unit rate? I'm looking at my graphs, and at first I'm a little confused because there's no labels, either here or here. But I noticed that the adults, far fewer adults than the students. So when I look at the graphs, that means that the smaller numbers are going to be the adults. This is adults. Hang on. Sorry. Gotta respond or they're going to keep. Okay. So the adults is on the y-axis just because I can tell that these are the smaller numbers and this is the children. Alright, so I'm going 3 adults for every 45 students. If I go to the 3 adults and go across until I hit a dot, until I hit the line, I'm going to hit right there, which is somewhere between the 120 and the 150. That's not 45 kids. Okay? 3 adults, go across, and I hit right there, right between the 30 and the 65. And hey, guess what? 45 is halfway between 30 and 65. This is the one that matches, but I'm just going to double check. 3 adults, I hit right there, halfway between 0 and 30. That's 15. Nope. And then 3 adults, I go across, hey, I'm never hitting the line. And plus, we don't work with lines that look like this. It just looks weird. Okay? So it would be answer choice C. Alright, number 8, Emily sells greeting cards. The graph models the linear relationship between the number of boxes of cards she sells and her profit. Which of these best describes the profit Emily makes from selling these cards? Alright, so I'm looking, I'm going up the line until I find a nice, pretty, clean point. There's a good point right there. So the important thing on this one, because they tried to trick you down here in your answer choices, because we have a 30 and we have a 4. So they tried to trick you with this one, okay? But you've got to pay attention to the axes, okay? This says number of boxes. There are 4 boxes, not $4. Okay? This says $4 for 30 boxes. That's not the case at all. 4 boxes cost $30. Okay? This is not the one. The axes are wrong. Okay? We've got to figure out, looks like here they're trying to figure out how much per box. Okay? This one says $3 for $3 for 4 boxes. 4 boxes cost $30. That's not right either. Okay? So we've got to figure out how much this would be per box. $30 for 4 boxes. That's asking you per box, per one. Okay? This is a unit rate question. How much for one? So you've got to take the cost and divide it by the number of boxes. I'm just going to go ahead and do this by hand. I don't have a calculator sitting here, but it's 7.5, $7.50 per box. Okay? You've got to make sure that you're paying attention to the axes because they are definitely going to try to trick you with something like that. Okay? Number 9. Triangle DEF and triangle GHI are similar right triangles. Based on this information, which statement is true? So they're going to be asking us about the slope of this line right here. They're referring to this line as the hypotenuse of these two triangles. That's not a vocabulary word that you will see until probably January. So we're just talking about the slope of this line right here. And when they say hypotenuse, they're just talking about this slanted line right here. Okay? It says the relationship between the slope of this line of triangle DEF and the slope of the hypotenuse of GHI cannot be determined. They're saying in that one that you can't determine the slope of this line? Why not? You've got clean points. You should be able to determine the slope of the line. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and determine the slope. I know it's negative because it's going down. And from point to point, I am going down to and over 3. So my rise over my run is negative 2/3. So I can absolutely determine the slope of the line. This one is out. It says the slope of the hypotenuse of triangle DEF is greater than the slope of the hypotenuse of triangle GHI. This slope is still the same for this part of the line as it is this part of the line. It's just a straight continuous line. But let's double check. This is going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 6, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Negative 6 over 9, which guess what? If you put that into your calculators or you simplify this, you get negative 2/3. It's the same regardless of the size of the triangles. The size of the triangle has nothing to do with the slope of this particular continuous line. So this part right here, greater than, that is not true. The slope of the hypotenuse of triangle DEF is less than. Nope, they're the same. The slope of the hypotenuse of triangle DES is equal to, yes, this is the one. Okay, and the last one. There is 1/12 foot in 1 inch. Does the graph show the relationship between feet and inches? So we've got 1 foot equals 12 inches. That is true. 1 foot equals 12 inches. Everybody see it? So does it show the relationship? Yes, it does. I'm going to mark out the nose. And then yes, because the graph has a slope of 1/12, or yes, because the graph has a slope of 12. Remember, slope is rise over run, right? You need the vertical over the horizontal. So the vertical distance is 1. The horizontal distance is 12. The slope is 1 over 12. A is your answer. And that's it.